Here it is Thursday, and it's a beautiful day. So I decided I have some errands to run. So I stopped off here and I'm getting a hold of you. Yesterday, I had a nice chat with you. It was nice. And, but something occurred that has been occurring um, more and more out here in the deep green. Again, I'm like right between the Smoky Mountains and the Appalachians, right in this bowling alley of energy. And I'm just, about 100 and something miles to Oak Ridge, and all around me are all these underground bases. The Blue Ridge Mountains are just full of them, from DC to Georgia, just full of them. A highway across along the ridge, the top of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Yes, it's a tourist thing, but um, it was started as a access to these facilities, and now they're all kind of connected with. Did you ever go to your deposit? Your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try to reconnect. Say something. Say something. Hmm. Hmm. Anyway, um, I kind of just do this. I just do live chats. I don't do shows. There are people like Max. I has the Black Crow channel, and the kids who do the open mind kind of channel, and that great sister who does Grace. And there are a lot of great channels, and they just and they spend a lot of energy. Me, I'm your griot. I just kind of tell you stories and get you to talk. And there's no one seeming to be there. Who knows whether YouTube is actually connecting me to anybody? But yesterday, I was at this place that's about 10 miles from me, maybe further, maybe 13, 14 miles from me. And it's got pretty good Wi-Fi, no phone. I can't make any phone calls, but it's all good. And so I was sitting there, and this guy comes in, and he is wearing, you know, Revolutionary to Civil War kind of clothes. He did not buy these clothes at the Gap. I mean, his shoes are handmade, his belt and his pants, his shirt, everything. Anyway, and I said to the owner, "Hey, I'll take care of that." So he sat down and we talked, and this guy was from another time and space. And we talked about. I said, you know, so you're riding around on a horse? He goes, "Yep." I said, "So how's that doing?" He goes, "What do you?" Well, he goes, "What's that wagon out front? Where's the horse?" And I said, "That's a car." And he goes, "Car?" I said, "Yeah, it's a car." And he didn't know what a car was. And so we talked, and everyone was looking at him. I mean, they look at me strangely. Good to see you, buddy. I'm doing well. I'm it's like training days, because something's going down. That's for sure. I keep talking about we're now at 16, 16 months, the open window. And, things are just getting stranger and stranger. And, but it's like portals are, time and space and dimensional portals are opening up all around me. And people are walking through and coming to visit. And this one was quite interesting because he actually came not just into the deep green where I'm, and I've had a lot of people come visit, that aren't like from the website or from the YouTube or from anywhere. They're and and the basic message has been, shed everything. You don't need anything. It's time to be able to just walk into the next dimension because what's here now is already irrelevant. It's already it's falling apart. It's turning to dust. And if you stick to your, oh, I got to keep that Walmart job, that you hate, then you just got to let everything go. And I know it's difficult. It's hard for me to let things go. But that's one of the great blessings of being out in the deep green. You know, there's, there's nothing to hold on to except trees and leaves and grass and air and sound of birds. Like today, I got up with the sunrise and I was sitting on top of a hill and in one of my garbage chairs, meaning all my furniture is, oh, look at that. Somebody threw this out. I said, oh, put it in my car, and now it's my chair. So I was sitting on top of this hill, and it was amazing because I was surrounded by hummingbirds. I mean, these little birds, and they were just all over the place. And those guys don't stick around, but these guys lit on branches and just were like talking. And there was woodpeckers and owls and blue jays and robins and hawks and owl. Everybody was there just singing away. And materialism is a fraud, an affront to what we really should be, what we really are, right? And that's what I'm writing about. I my big tarp is I have a number of pallets covered with tarps that have boxes and boxes of books. So, on one box it's all my, Greek philosophy, and another box is full of my, Middle Ages. The thing about Middle Ages philosophy is when 2000, am I being interrupted because the thing keeps flashing on saying your signal is being disrupted? But anyway, so Whitley Strieber had this book. He's the guy who wrote Communion. And this one he wrote about 2012. And it was really interesting because at the beginning of the book, it's like these people are watching TV and they're counting down. It's New Year's and they're going to go from 2011 to 2012. It's end of times, end of my calendar, oh, well. And 2012, nothing changes, right? And everyone laughs. See, what a joke. Ha, 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 ha. And so it was like the year 2000. I was sent by some folk to hang out with a cult who were all about the end of times coming in the year 2000. They were, midnight came to approach. Again, your connection is unstable. So is my connection unstable? Anyway, at 2000, we're in this guy's basement, his shelter, and he had gotten construction paper and he 40 feet of it. He gave every magic markers to draw pictures of what the end times are going to look, fire and brimstone. And he had one where people were like burning alive. Anybody was about stuff like that, the four horsemen. And I drew a rainbow with people all happy and dancing around the sun and the rainbow. And the rainbow, showed that it was didn't go from here to here. It went all the way around. And it connected all of humanity and all our relations and all the birds and the plants and the bees and everybody was dancing with each other. And the guy got really upset. And he ripped it. This is serious. We're all going to die. Blah, blah, blah. This is the end of times. And he's ripping it up. Anyway, the countdown came, 10, 9, 8, midnight came. And there's everybody from around the world and, Times Square and nothing changed, right? And I said, well, see you guys later, And I really like these guys because the one thing I did like best about them is that, at least twice a month, it was like the guy was a big Boy Scout. So he loved camping. And, it was fun to camp. I'm a big camper. That's what I'm doing right now. Yep, my guided meditations. You go back, Bob. I tell you, have you gotten yourself a dartboard? Right? Get yourself a dartboard. Either out of the garbage, out of Goodwill, or out of Walmart's, wherever you can get the cheapest dartboard, and you throw darts at the dartboard. And there's numbers there. So I have almost 700 shows. Each of these shows, where I do them, I go into shamanic, and I am imprinting onto the show shamanic energy. And so if you threw a dart, 3 darts, get 3 numbers, either 004 or 12 or 22 or 105 or 240 or whatever, and then go watch that show. That would be better than using any kind of I Ching or magic 8-ball or anything. And if you did that, every time you did that, and you go into prayer, go into state, and throw the darts until you get 3 numbers, either 001 or 0010 or 010, or because like I said, I have got almost more than 700 shows, either very close to 700 or very close after 700. And if you did it that way, every show that you're going into state, that you are emptying your angst and your anger and your fear into your Akashic record, and then going back and looking at, look what happened. That's what that's what it's about. I should have done. I just went out and locked my car door. Because he was like looking at my car, like looking into it, looking around it, looking at it, and I have all these stickers on it. He was like, and then I went, locked the door, and then I turned and said, hey, who are you? What are you doing? And I read his palm, and he was like off the hook. He was like I said, he was like between the Revolution and the Civil War. And he said, and I'm a man of letters. I said, letters? Yes, I've been to, college. I went to college. Like, it was like a big deal, like something beyond what anyone expected of him. And we talked about philosophy and the Greeks. And the one thing he said that was quite interesting, and I've always felt this about the Greeks, he said, there were no women philosophers in the Greeks. Right now, this guy's so he was a person from out of time and space, and yet he had this amazing perspective of how patriarchal everything was, and how everything, he's a white guy, and he had this thing, hell. It looked like it was straight out Star Trek, and there were gems on it. I didn't have my little loop and check them out, but they were emeralds and diamonds and whatever. I mean, and it wasn't just like a piece of jewelry that he got from the store. It was like I said, very. We almost have an ideal to govern our conduct and ensure content. It is immaterial that it be one of a creed, art, science, or anything else, so long as it fuels the function. Right. Fuels love's co-creation. Of a dematerializing force. And the fact that YouTube makes it difficult for me to do this, almost who were the architects of design till present day? Well, go back, 200 to 300 years, a guy named Albert Pike, who started the Illuminati in Europe. The guys who were the Khazarian mob, who became the Russian czar stepped on their neck and said, "Stop! We're all crooks, but you're stepping on my business plan. So, pick something." And they picked to be Jewish, and they weren't Hebrew. They were Jewish. They had jewels, so they were jewelers. So they went all through Europe, and they weren't allowed to have property or position, but they were allowed to lend money to kings, and that's how Mr. Rothschild. He's from that crew, and they are, when we had Operation Paperclip bringing 70,000 Nazis into our government. That's why our government is so whack right now. And they were already out in space, before, 39, they were out in space, World War II was just a distraction so they could get all their marbles together in the solar system, and also to make it a transnational enterprise. And that's what it is. It's a transnational enterprise. Yeah, Man Out of Time is quite an opener. Not only Nikola Tesla, it's about all of the other greats. Yeah, Adam. Yeah, well, he was part of that, and yep, we were years ago. Yep, and this is true. The Bethel came and made us. We're just somebody's jaw boy. Lucifer, make our way up the ladder. Acting a very sensitive and observant being with his highly developed mechanism all intact and acting with precision in obedience to the changing conditions of the environment, is endowed with a free will. Proceed. And there are a lot of people out there doing this, right? And all I am is your kind griot to tell you stories. The space for the group of adepts, the cadre to come together. A lot of fun if you guys in the last, So the guy with the top hat, I should have invited him in and put him on the channel. I should have bought him some food because he was freaked out. I've dealt with out of the woods in front of me next to the fire, and the people in the tube upset them too much. But he already had, and if I invited him in, I sat him down at my table and got him something to eat, might have away on. Nobody wanted to talk about it. And actually, one of the kids said, "What was that guy with the big hat and that horse? What was that, Daddy?" And his father said, "We're not going to talk about that." So it really was like with people walking out by the fire, and then they kind of mosey on. It was a car, So from what's really going on, and again, it's the countdown. Where as this weekend goes away, the first I think is Sunday, and that's going to be now 60 months, and weirder. And I wouldn't doubt a lot of my technical friends tell me that the airplanes, technical friends tell me that the airplanes, the talk conspiracy theories should be made against when more than two people come together to do something. I know, but playlist. There are a ton of channels up there. Hey, go look at any one of them. Those people are really doing some serious work. They're doing their homework. They're finding everything that's going on, making sure it's true. I will and get it. Okay, I thought it would be fine because everything else, I had no problem. Okay, gang, catch you later. I love you all.